Hi, this is the first slide of this course. Before starting the teaching part, I want to tell you how easy it can be to crack this test, even for those of you who need 79 plus or 90. I've seen people with all different levels of English getting the top mark. Yes, it takes a little bit longer, it needs a little bit more effort for someone with a lower level of English, but is it possible? Absolutely. The key is to practice, practice, and practice again. Really, just like anything else in life. I occasionally do private tutoring for PTE, and when my students need a bit more effort and time, they sometimes get tired halfway, and all I tell them is to think of the day when they get their result and eventually get what they wanted to pass the test for. Whether it's a university admission, a better job, a working visa, or even like permanent residency of a country that they like. And then you can decide if it's worth that extra effort. Think about what happens when you get your score and push yourself a bit more. This course has absolutely everything you might need to score listening 90. I give this info to my students, and many of them, those who put the time and effort, did score 90. I know nothing more than what's in this course, and I did score it 90. So this is my part. Your part is to sacrifice some time and practice. Good luck, and send me a message when you get that visa or university admission or whatever it is that you're after. This quote on top of the page is from PTE official website. It says PTE Academic assesses real-life academic English. This means that the audio clips you're gonna listen to are from actual lectures, presentations, and classes, and you will hear a variety of accents from American to British to Australian to even non-native English speakers like myself. So it means all of the listening pieces you hear in the test are actually from seminars, interviews, and classrooms, so the quality is not perfect. And also the speaker might correct herself or himself after a couple of words or sentences, or even she might mumble a bit. It just like any other real lecture or presentations. And obviously each clip will be played once only. You can adjust the volume, of course, using a volume bar showing on the screen. The test is 3 hours, and you will have a 10-minute break between reading and listening. The modules are, of course, speaking, writing, listening, and reading. So between listening and reading, you're gonna have a 10-minute break. My advice is to use it to just get a sip of water and have a chocolate with yourself, or use the toilet if you need. You are most probably not allowed to take the chocolate to the test with you. Depends on the test center, but I think based on regulations you should not take it in with you, so you can just grab a bite when you get out for your break, because that really keeps your brain going. And yeah, the listening module is 45 to 57 minutes long. Some question types contribute to other modules' marks as well. And this is what is different between, one of the differences between PTE and IELTS. Summary spoken text, for example, is assessed for both listening and writing, and write from dictation contributes to writing scores as well. Don't worry about it. Don't need to write it down. I'll get to it again. I'll mention it again in details when we get to each question type. You are usually given a short time before the audio clip starts playing. It's usually about 7 seconds, but it can go up to 12 seconds. I'll mention this again for each and every question type when we get to them. There's the time after the preparation time, then there's the time that you need to answer the question within. This falls into two categories. Some questions have their own limited dedicated time, like writing essay, which is 20 minutes in writing module, and some are part of an overall timing for that module. This is the case for listening module, listening and reading actually, except for listening summarized spoken text, which has its own allocated 10 minutes. So again, this means that listening has an overall limited time allocated to the whole module, which you use to answer all listening questions. So you'd want to save as much time as possible at every one of listening questions, because you never know if the question you're getting next is one of those really hard and time-consuming ones. So you want to save as much as possible, and it's on you when to click next button and go to the next question. So no matter what, answer every question within the shared time limit with a sense of urgency, and as if all the questions coming after that are very hard and time consuming, because you never know, they might really be. And except for summary spoken text, as I said, which has a separated 10 minutes allocated to it. And there's going to be 2 to 3 questions from each question type here in listening module, except for write from dictation, which is going to have 3 to 4 questions. This I'm going to say it again for each question type, so don't worry about it. Practice questions, we have practice questions in this module, and for your own practicing, only and only practice with standard questions. You can find free and paid sample questions on PTE official website. The link is here. This is PTE's official practice website. You don't want to get used to non-standard questions and go to test just to face something different than what you've practiced. YouTube is another good source. Look for past tests and find them on YouTube or anywhere else on the net. Only past real tests, not something that someone's made up and designed and then just put up on the internet. Although I don't recommend this, I don't recommend looking for real tests, because there are leaked tests and it's against copyright. Here I made up some sample questions for you in this course, but remember, it's not standard, and that's why I didn't include many of these samples, because I'm not a PTE test designer, and so my sample questions won't be a standard. In addition to the fact that it is not the main aim of this course. I got some reviews on my speaking course, which is a bestseller, and as of now has the highest rating, 4.5. Some students were just like, everything is great and the course has been really helpful, but they rated it down because they wanted more sample questions. Again, you should only practice standard sample questions. I cannot share them or link to them here because of copyright, of course. And question types, there are 8 question types in listening module. You can see here, and this is what we will be covering in this course. We will go through each and every one of them and explain everything you need about that question, how to answer it, examples, and everything you need. This should be enough for an introduction. Let's get to the course.